Because here is a early 1920s Dodge, just like the one we used to have. It's the GN Spider, a very, very famous car. Look at this incredible machine called Maggot. There in an old caricature is the previous owner of Big Dodge in the Alpha. Well, good morning folks. It is August 2024. You are on the Old Classic Car channel, and today we are at Prescott Hillclimb for the VSCC Prescott Hillclimb of August 24. This is the orchard area, and it is gradually filling up with a huge array of vintage cars. We'll have a proper walk around here a little bit later on when all the cars are in place, probably around lunchtime. But for now, let's go and have a bit of a mooch around and see what cars are out on the hill right now. Some magnificent pre-war cars are arriving. This is HRG Corner. Now these are actually post-war cars, but the VSCC, which primarily deals with cars up to and including 1930, does have the PVT list, or the post-vintage thoroughbred list, and a number of cars, a select band of cars, are permitted to compete in VSCC events, and that includes these HRGs. These date, I think, to about 49, 50, that kind of era, so they're quite late compared to many of the cars that take part at VSCC events, but they do have special status, if you like, to compete at VSCC meetings. And look over here, this glorious Riley. What a bobby dazzle that is, and I think we'll see some phenomenal cars here today. This is a real proper event. And like I say, we will have a proper walk around the orchard area, but I just had to come and have a look at this. And it's slightly odd because here is a early 1920s Dodge, just like the one we used to have. And coincidentally, what's that over there? A Ludlow green Ford V8 Pilot. So yeah, it was one of these that left the garage, and shortly after it was the green Ford V8 Pilot that arrived in the garage. So, but yeah, look at this, what an oily ragger this is. Right hand drive, so this could well have come in from Australia. It's on the BF series registration, which was one of the series often allocated to cars that were brought here in more recent years, an age-related number. But how cool is that? Wow, look at those phenomenal tyres. A Goodrich Silverton Cord tyre. Yes, so yep, same spec as ours, 3.5 litre, big 4-cylinder engine, really torquey old girl. Brakes on the rear only. Yeah, this is identical spec to our car. So you've got a centre throttle pedal. The gears were the wrong way around as well, as you can see with that handy little thing on the dash there. Yeah. How magnificent is that? Look at this, it's just incredible. A proper oily ragger. Well, there we go, it's coming from South Africa. Yeah, very cool indeed. Stunning lineup of Frazer Nash BMWs over here. Back in the late 40s and the early 1950s, Big Dodge, sat at home, was a regular here at the Prescott hill climb, carrying the big old pre-war Grand Prix Alpha. And I've got some old photographs of it parked just here next to the fence, so I must have to dig those out and have another look at those. And also there is, on the National Motor Museum YouTube channel, there is some colour footage of a Prescott meeting in about 1950. And this colour footage, which is shot over the back over there somewhere, shows the Dodge with the Alpha next to it in glorious colour 70 odd years ago. 3 litre Bentley on the line. Various cars here are lining up, waiting to go up the hill for the first time here today at VSCC Prescott. Like I said before, this is a 2-day meeting, so I'm guessing today is probably practice day. Glorious old Talbot over here. If you love vintage cars, in particular vintage sports cars, well, it doesn't get much better than being here. Two vintage Vauxhalls over here, we're just waiting their turn. Looks like a Railton on the left alongside the Vauxhall. Bugatti corner. Over here, an Alta, stunning car. Rear wheels raised on the quick lift jack here. That often happens. You often see this on cars with pre-selected gearboxes, just to warm up the transmission oil before heading out to the hill itself. Another stunning car. The special over here is the Monasco Pirate, and we've seen this one here before at Prescott and also at VSCC Lowton Park, which we try to get up to on a regular basis. And this is another glorious special. Just look at the engine in there. 4 huge carburettors, exposed valve gear, very, very warm as well. Let's have a look around here.
I can get the other seat. If you want, I can get you the stripy seat.
Prescott is the home, and has been for many years, of the Bugatti Owners Club, so there's always a huge turnout of magnificent Bugattis here, including this one. Just look at the detail of the wheels even. Magnificent straight 8 engine in this one. Just look at that.
That's down on the end of the
Amble this way up the paddock and we have a magnificent lineup of classic ERAs from the 1930s. ERA, of course, English racing automobiles, as established by Raymond Mays himself, a driver of some repute and former champion, hillclimb champion. In the post-war years he founded BRM, perhaps best remembered for the V16s, but pre-war it was ERA was the focus of his attention, and we've got a fine selection of ERAs here today. Again, another one with the rear up on the quick lift stands, just to warm up the gearbox. So you have it running in gear, wheels spinning around, just to warm things through before having a go at the hill itself. Protective barriers are going around the rear wheels of the ERA over here, so presumably this one will be running before long. Two more ERAs over here, covered up at the moment, but this, I can tell by the front suspension, is one of the most famous ERAs of all. This is R4D. I've got a feeling somewhere, and we've got a bump start. Yes, I believe this is R4D. it is stamped somewhere. There it is, stamped in the front suspension. It's a very distinctive front suspension arrangement on this particular car. Hopefully we'll see it a little bit later without the cover on it. Fingers crossed. But yeah, that's a very famous car. Again, campaigned by company founder Raymond Mays in hill climb events, pre-war probably, and also post-war. This is the kind of car that the big Alpha that used to go in the back of Big Dodge would have been up against at hill climb meetings in the years following the Second World War. So this is a very historic car over here. Alongside that, another ERA. I think that is a slightly later build. Ooh, there we go, the cover is off. As if by magic, the cover is off R4D, and what a glorious sight that is. Such a historic car this is, absolutely incredible. I think this is probably the most developed of all of this shape, this era of ERA, but just wonderful looking car. And again, back wheels up in the air, ready for a little bit of oil warming later on. And there's the huge supercharger. There's the huge supercharger sat between the driver's knees. There's not a lot of room in there. There's the pre-selected gearbox down the side of the cockpit. Big boost gauge there. Yeah. You are very, very intimate with all the goings on. But yeah, what a fantastic car that is. Hill climbing, so many people built their own cars, one-offs, to go hill climbing in, and this is just such an example. This is the GN Spider, a very, very famous car, one of the so-called Shelsley specials, I guess. But these would have been built, I think this is pre-war, and it's just been used pretty much continuously ever since. Oh, yeah, glorious car. What an amazing thing here. Love the old Castrol can there, that's the oil catch tin. It's such an original looking car, this one as well. Chain drive, of course, GN. Some pretty hefty chains. Not much in the way of creature comforts on this beauty. What a fantastic little car this is. Such a famous hill climb car, this one. In fact, there's the old nose cone, the old bonnet if you like, and you can just about make out the name GN Spider on this side.
That's the house that I know.
Let's carry on a little bit down here. Past Frazer Nash, I believe. It is indeed. Very popular choice for VSCC vintage racing. Much wider track at the front compared to the rear. There's another glorious little car here. I'm not quite sure what we're looking at here, but this is the MG Bellevue Special. Huge supercharger hung out the front there. Beautiful, and it has the twin wheel setup. This was quite a common sight back in the day. Obviously the wheels weren't the widest, the wheels and tyres back in the 30s. So someone decided it'd be a good idea to double up with the wheels at the back just for extra traction. Probably one of the earliest cars that you saw it on was the old rear engine auto unions of the 1930s. Two more Frazer Nashes here. This is the original Norris Special. There are two cars around called the Norris Special. Frazer Nash, MG again, supercharger poking out the front, hence the carburetor there. Just beautiful looking car. MG, of course, Morris garages. That's how they came about. Modified versions of regular Morris road cars. That's how MG started out. course, the name is still around, at least in name only.
Back.
Beautiful. Oh, hello there. Hello there.
Some pretty tasty stuff here, isn't
There is. Engine turn dashboard in this one. Huge tachometer. It's all about revolutions per minute and saving the engine. Speed, in terms of miles per hour, is actually way less important than blowing your engine up. Let's carry on down here. We've got a Riley. What sort of Riley is that? A Brooklands, is it? Or a Sprite, you reckon? Yeah.
TT Sprite or something like that.
Could be.
Don't quote me on it. Yeah, there's far more Bugattis here than I'd ever remembered.
Yeah, it's the home of the Bugatti Owners Club, this is, isn't it?
We're at the bigger meeting, I suppose. But
This is the bigger of the meetings, isn't it?
It's pretty mad, isn't it?
Two Bugattis over here. So this is Type 35. Again, lovely engine turning. That was a feature of Bugatti at the time. Glorious instrumentation. Look at that. Just stunning cars. The detail on them is just something else. Frazer Nash firing up, maybe. Even the wheels are stunning.
I wouldn't mind that.
So beautiful, yeah, beautiful cast aluminium wheel incorporating the finned brake drum. Just about seeing there, hopefully. Yeah, again, that was a Bugatti thing, but what a beautiful thing that is. Just here on the grass behind this maroon Type 35. Another lovely old special over here. Look at this incredible machine called Maggot. Look at that. Twin engines, 2V twin engines. If ever a car qualified as oily rag, I think this is it. Fantastic. So you've got Sims Magneto, one per engine down there. Tiny little quarter elliptic springs on the front. Chain drive. More chains, a bit of rudimentary chain guard action in there, just to protect the driver if the chains decide to let go. Very, very oily. Look at this, the Wellesley Special. So we've got a twin cylinder engine in the front, and if that wasn't good enough, there's another one over here. Chain operated steering as well. This is a hugely popular event. One of the biggest events in the VSCC calendar. Got another GN over here. Cylinders of the V twin engine poking out either side below the bonnet. Got a chain drive for the ignition. Somewhat modified Austin over here.
No, in that Rimmers kind of
12.4.
You paint over it, it's always going to come beautiful good. Yeah. Simple, you don't have to keep taking it.
just have to say, when they did bang.
Beautiful Austin 7 based racer over here. What a sleek looking thing this is. The body is very much that of the, certainly inspired by the pre-war twin cams. Maybe this is a twin cam. Well, that's what was that was the car that was this shape back in the late 1930s, and that would form the basis of the lovely Pathfinder pedal car that Austin produced in the late 1940s, just for a year or so, alongside the J40 pedal car. Got a Rapier over here, which was kind of a smaller version of Lagonda. I think it was a Lagonda Mark. Here, another famous special. This is Granny. This is the Beck Power Plus, another well-known special, and again with a twin wheel setup on the back just for added traction. Oh, fantastic bit of kit this is. Quite a long chassis, engine, well, certainly rearward of the front axle line just to improve the handling. Another great GN here with a V-twin, GN registration as well. Is that actually a registration number, or is it just for effect? 1922, that seems about right for the age of it.
I think all the GN cars have these half leaf springs on the front.
Yeah, they're called quarter elliptics, they are. That's a quarter elliptic. Right. If it went all the way to the end, it'd be semi-elliptic.
Yeah, I think that's a GN thing I seem to notice.
Yeah.
It seems to be for that.
Many Austin 7s of different shape and form over here.
Sorry.
MG alongside that. Another MG here, very, very nice. Note these black things on the front here. I know on the previous Prescott video someone asked what these were. Well, these are used to break the timing beam at the beginning and at the end of every run. So every car will have something like that on the front, and that is what is used to determine your overall time up the hill. Same with any hill climb, really. Well, that one is behind the line of the front wheels, so yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, nice little Austin 7. It's all very informal, just wonderful cars everywhere you look. Unlike some race meetings where you can't get around the paddock areas particularly easily, it's very, very different at hill climb events like this one. And if you're going to go to one event in the year, this is the one to come to. VSCC Prescott in August, in this case 2024. Pair of French Amel cars over here, stunning Marshall lamps on the front, beautiful little cars.
Dad to do his run and that, get my overalls on.
It's quite the queue of cars. What is this next to the Riley? An Alvis. And there's the famous Alvis hair on the top of the radiator. A very, very lofty Alvis, certainly compared to the Riley that's alongside it. Let's carry on up here. Various Rileys. We've got a Wolseley Hornet Special, the green one here. That's very nice. 6-cylinder car.
Attention Paddock. Could all drivers in class 11
There's Frazer Nash's, Riley's, another Alvis here.
in class 11 ready with your cars awaiting marshal's instructions. Thank you.
What do we see over here? The black car. That is a Lancia car. I've never seen that before. An incredible set of lamps on the front as well. We have some slightly more road-oriented cars over here, headed up by RU 1225, 1920s Vauxhall. A Bentley alongside that. An SS base car here. Wow, the SS 3.5 litre, again with the twin wheel setup on the back, looking particularly spectacular. Lovely car that is. Let's carry on up here, just cars everywhere you look. Alvis here, Riley alongside. Lovely oily rag Frazer Nash over here. This one's seen a bit of action over the years, I think. Look at this, I'm thinking this is probably a Mercedes. There's no badge on it that I can see, which usually helps me out a little bit, but I'm guessing this is Mercedes-Benz. Let's see if we can see anything that gives the game away. But white was I think that was the racing colour for Germany back in the very early days in the teens in the 1920s. And in the 1930s, Mercedes decided to strip off the paint from their cars. And then that was the birth of the Silver Arrows. But originally, German entered cars because in those days, you used to have country colours. Nationalities had their own racing colours. I'm pretty sure Germany was white or off-white, as you see here. There's a French Schneider over here, again with a gargantuan engine. What an incredible engine that is. Now, what do we have here? I'm going to have to cheat a little bit on this one, I think. A Luxor. There are some very special cars out here today. Cars that you just don't tend to see anywhere else. So presumably this is a Curtis Aero engine. Again, exposed valve gear, everything wired to stop anything undoing itself in operation. Just love all the detailing, the gear lever arrangements over here, the buttons, everything is just proper.
too floppy. You know, not snapping off. He was catching on there, and he still is now.
This is the Romano. What is this? Again, a car I've never seen before. Looks like an aero engine in this crit. Is that right? Crit? Proper Edwardian era. And look at the size of the chain drive on that. Wow. The Crit Motor Car Company of Detroit, Michigan. Slightly unfortunate symbol, but at the time it didn't have any of the connotations that it does now. So you've got semi-elliptic lower spring and a quarter elliptic upper spring. And a big tank on the back, huge fuel filler on the back, a couple of little metal bucket seats, not much in the way of creature comforts in there. Again, huge chain drive arrangement, beautiful engineering. Here's the Straker Squire that we saw running just a moment ago.
I can't drink wine. I'll have the occasional glass.
Yeah, definitely. If you're only going to go to one event in a year, this is the one I would recommend. And here we have a Dodge Brothers, slightly earlier than the 1924 Tourer that we used to have. I'm guessing this is probably late teens, but the engine is very, very similar. A big 4-cylinder, about 3.5 litres, that kind of thing. Very similar running gear to that example, the Oily Ragger from South Africa that we saw in the orchard before. Talbot here, Talbot of London. Incredible quality, all this. It's just wonderful. Looks like a Hudson here. Yep, Hudson Super 6. We have seen this at one or two events over the last few years. This is the Chalmers, I think. This lives fairly local to us, actually. Yeah, Chalmers Motor Co. This one pops up occasionally at some of the VSCC meetings that take place near to us. The owner of this one is just a few miles down the road from us, I believe. It's an incredible car, amazing. I just love this era. And again, the details on cars like this are just fantastic. Every little thing that you look at is just right. There's no, modern lights or modern switch gear or anything like that to spoil the view. Everything is just proper, as it should be. There's an intriguing little car. It has a Singer engine. It says 1913 Singer on here. The radiator looks very much like an early Bullnose Morris, but correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but it certainly reminds me of that. No brakes on the front. Probably quite a light car. A little 4-cylinder engine in there. You've got little primers here. So you can, yeah, it's just really, really neat. the bottom of this particular row we have a pretty rakish looking Sunbeam of the early teens, and on the end here a Zust. It's not a make you come across all that often. Again, proper lovely old paint. It's the beauty of so many of these cars. They're not over restored, they're just maintained and prepared and just allowed to age gracefully. And that is certainly the case with this magnificent machine here. The rear seat squab is out so we can see the gigantic, I think that's a worm drive rear axle. You often used to see that on like lorries and charabancs, that kind of thing. It's got the what they tend to call Oster screens, so this is like a screen for people sat in the back just to protect them a little bit from the draft as you drive along. Amazing, amazing car. It's a wonderful tiny little car over here with a leather belt drive. This is the Ibbotson Special apparently. Yeah, just a little leather belt drive in the rear wheels. The JAP engine, twin cylinder engine up the front. Yeah, very much a lightweight cycle car type machine, this one. Glorious Delage over here, the French Delage.
Even I think there's half of the body inside. 4624, and we're back to Roxhurst.
Another supercharged MG right here. Quick scoots around here, lovely Riley, got an Alvis there, Frazer Nash, so many Frazer Nashes, very popular mounts for this kind of activities. A very low slung Frazer Nash here, Riley is there's that Wolseley Hornet Special. Alvis, Frazer Nash, MG, and another Wolseley on the end there. Well, we've climbed the hill up into the top paddock area now. This is that Railton we saw a little bit earlier on. Very distinctive shape to the radiator shells on these. So you can always tell a Railton from a mile away. Hudson based. Talbot there. They're really lovely, these MGs. Austin 7, looks like a replica of the old Austin 7 Ulster, which was the unofficial name, or EA Sports, which was the factory name. We've got another Ulster style Austin 7 Special here. This one sat quite high off the ground. The lower slung Riley here. What a stunning car that is. That's a beauty, that is. Austin 7 there. Morgan 3-wheeler. And the JAP V-twin in the front. Riley Austin 7. Little 747cc engine in those. Same with this one. Another example of the lovely little French Amel car. Beautiful little cars these are. And that's quite the mascot. Look at that radiator mascot on there. Over here we have a whole squadron of Austin 7s in different shapes and colours, but they're all Austin 7 based. There's a lovely little Austin 7 Chummy. Reasonably late example of a Chummy. The headlights alongside the radiator shell. Early ones, the lamps were on the scuttle. Here's a bonny little one. Is this a Gordon England? Could. Oh, hang on. I promise I didn't see this sticker. There we go. It's actually etched in, I think. Yeah, that's the Gordon England Special, again based on the Austin 7 chassis. With a little Ulster type car here. Another Gordon England. You got the fabric covered body on these. So you've got an ash frame and fabric covering. Improvised handbrake arrangements. A little Ulster there. Another EA Sport stroke Ulster here and over here. As many of these cars will probably have been built up in more recent years. There aren't too many original Ulsters around, but you can buy the complete bodies and everything and make your own if you find a proper vintage chassis. One of the short wheelbase chrome rad Austin 7 chassis, you can build up one of these. Just don't go chopping up a saloon. Alright, here's another one. And let's carry on down here. Very nice Ulster over here. Such a turnout of Austin 7s, incredible. This one's really, really nice. Now look at this one. This one looks like it's been around a while. Years ago I found an Austin 7 Special which had been parked up in a pitch black garage since 1959. That was a car I wish I'd hung on to. That was based around an original Ulster body on it. Some of the Ulsters were supercharged, some were not. Here's an interesting work in progress. This is a little French ELF, E-L-F-E, cycle car project. A bit of a work in progress. What a fantastic little car. This is, at first I thought it was a GN looking at the shape of the radiator, but no. So you got chain drive to the back axle. What a sweet little car this is. Let's have a quick look. There's a bit of blurb here on the sheet. So this was discovered back in 2012 in France. Oh, what a great project that is. That'll be fantastic when it's finished. Right, so what have we got here? An Amel car, a very swoopy radiator shell on it. Two lovely French cars there. MG's finest all the way from Abingdon over here. Another GN, I suspect.
Hello.
The Fiat Balila, is that it? Balila. Let's have a amble around here. So we've got Riley there. Austin 7 here. Citroen CX tow car up on the banking there. Love little Riley. Is this a Sprite, possibly? Riley's a very popular choice for special building back in the olden days. This is the Vale Special. The speedometer over this side in front of the co-driver, whereas the rev counter is over there, right in front of the driver. And a great little Austin 7 here, Riley's, and a couple more Austin 7s at the end.
No, you can't have Saturday.
Now this is a Riley Sprite, alongside that a Lee Francis, one-time maker of very exclusive bicycles. Alvis here, Frazer Nash, Frazer Nash, Frazer Nash. This is a GN, with a Riley Sprite over here, Frazer Nash, nope, HRG, I tell a lie, HRG, the post-war HRG, and a Riley on the end here, looking magnificent, huge brakes. As befits a competition car. Well, I think my youthful assistant has actually headed off towards the hill climb course itself. He said he was going to go up towards the Pardon hairpin, so I think we'll start drifting in that kind of direction. But look at that glorious Vauxhall, real quality performance cars. Vauxhalls were not so much now, but look at this fantastic lineup of old vintage Vauxhalls here, Prince Henry's, 3098s, all sorts here, absolutely glorious. I do love these little side lights, just stunning. We've got the Griffin mascot here. Just a feast for the eyes. Look at that Bugatti. By heck. What an incredible car. The wheels remind me of those on the huge Bugatti Royale. Now, whether the chassis of this car is related to the Royale, I'm not quite sure, but certainly of a similar age. Absolutely incredible cast aluminium wheels. The radiator, absolutely spectacular car. Even the underpinnings are spectacular. Look at the front axle. Anyway, the brakes, mechanical brakes operated by cable and chain. Might have to look this one up, 701 XUL, just to find out a little bit more about it. But what incredible coachwork, the streamlining, the angle of the windscreen. What a phenomenal car. Rear hinged doors, very, very substantial hinges as well. It's just... the windows are up, but even so, I think we can probably see in reasonably well. But wow, just wonderful. Everything nickel plated in there. Proper, incredible shape.
amazing.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Right, back to the paddock. Let's head down here. Frazer Nashes are plenty. Good test of your handbrake. It's surprisingly hilly in the paddock area here at Prescott. No need to carry unnecessary weight when you're going up a hill. All very, very civilised, and if you go looking at old photos from the 30s and the 40s here at Prescott, it looks so similar to this. All very informal. Another Lee Francis here. This is a Lee Francis Hyper. Very raked radiator assembly on these. Sporting machine, Frazer Nash BMW here. Another Lee Francis Hyper over here. Okay, we are about here, just next to the main paddock area over there. So we're going to wander up here, over the bridge, and then make our way up to Pardon, which I think is where the youthful assistant is at the moment. Many parts for sale. Something gets you fit, all this.
So just continue shooting.
Time for a sandwich, but all we've got to do is actually find our car. It's not every day you see one of those in a public car park.
Oh yeah.
300 SL Gullwing.
Just parked up.
What a shame.
Yeah.
So let's just go and visit this particular part of the public car park. We go past a sea of grey, modern, boring modernity, and look at this.
Well, this has to be the most amazing public car.
What an incredible looking car, about 1955, knock-on wheels, fitted luggage in the back. Absolutely glorious. There was also the roadster version of these available. This is the coupe, the famous Gullwing. Just an incredible car, and certainly not the sort of car you expect to see in a public car park. You know, something, what, 7-figure valuation, something this now. So yeah, what an absolute phenomenal car. Window open. Have a quick peer inside, gently have a look there. Yeah. That is really quite something. I was lucky enough to have a ride in one of these many years ago. The owner of that car, he also had the roadster version, so he had the matching pair in his garage. I think he's still got the roadster, but no longer the coupe. But what an incredible looking car that is. Got an AMC or Rambler Ambassador over here. Bit of information. 1963 Rambler Ambassador 990. Built in Brampton, Canada as an export model. Right hand drive from new. Top of the Rambler range. It's always worth having a look around the car parks at events just like this. You're going to see some real rarities. Look at that. Well, we're over in the main orchard area now, which is where the vintage cars gather. The attending cars rather than the competing cars. And look at this magnificent Vauxhall. There's a little Humber there, just avoiding the tree. Oh yeah, what a preservation, a time warp car. This particular example is, obviously, yeah, just a fantastic old Vauxhall. It's quite unusual, this panel here over the rear door. Isn't that amazing? 100 plus years old. The Vauxhall alongside that. Let's have a look in here. Just admire the seating position. So you've got a hand throttle. You've got the advance and retard of the ignition. You tend to manually retard the ignition when you go for a start and then advance it as soon as you can before setting off down the road. That became automated on later cars, but back in the teens and 1920s and well into the 30s you would manually control the advance and retard of the ignition system. Riley there, Austin 7 Chummy, and this is an earlyish Austin 7 Chummy with the lamps on the scuttle. We were looking at a slightly later one before. Another Austin 7 here, very unusual little body on this one. Again, quite an early one. And on the end here, fantastic pre-war Riley.
Thinking it had broken off, but it's not. It's that, isn't it? So you could change it.
The prizes for guessing why this is called the Orchard. See some later classics over the back there. MGA, little Alpha GT Junior, BMW 2002, Pagoda roof Mercedes SL, Trap Stag, and a Landy next to that. Got a 3 litre Bentley on the end of this row. If you've not seen this video yet, have a look at Harley's Car Traction channel for a visit that we paid only very recently actually to Bentley over at Pims Lane in Crewe, where we had a bit of a tour of not just the production facility but also the heritage collection. And that was a particularly fine morning out. So if you like your old Bentleys, I recommend having a look at that video. Okay, we've got another 3 litre Bentley here. We'll just have a bit of a look along here. A little pre-war MG. What's this? A PA? It's a PA MG. Very nice too. Alvis. Make that a row of Alvises. 1250, one of quite a few 1250s we've seen here already today. Rolls Royce Vauxhall, 1398, a sporting Vauxhall of the late teens and into the 20s. We've got an Austin Healey Sprite there. MG, is this one of the 6-cylinder cars? Could be. I'm not too well up on my MGs. Well, there's the tax to say 1946. With Alvis, what speed? 20 or 25. Lovely Vauxhall on the end of the row here. I do like the old leather case on the running board over here. And how long are those rear springs? I mean, the back axle is all the way over there, and the springs run all the way down there, and that's the front end of the rear suspension leaf springs. You can really see just how far away it is from the back axle. A lovely car. Sunbeam there, post-war MG TD, and a Derby era Bentley over here, so that's sort of mid-1930s, that kind of age. Just sneak around here, we've got a flat nose Morris Cowley. This was the replacement for the bull nose. That change took place in the late 1920s. Rolls Royce over here, and a mighty Packard, the American Packard. These were a real quality car. This is for if you were driving a Packard around in the 1930s, you definitely made it. What an incredible, imposing car this is. There was a lovely one of these in the classic car auction at the NEC just a couple of years ago. Immaculate car it was, and it went for less than the price of a pretty average MGB. It was just one of those cars that snuck through the auction. No one really noticed. Well, this is glorious, probably a straight 8. Doors are open, windows open. What an incredible car that is. Proper old original cast number plates. I've never seen them with that sort of mottled effect before. Yeah, the Packard Super 8, straight 8 cylinders, really imposing, luxurious motor car. Look at the size of the spare wheel set into the front wing or the front fender. Yeah, you've got footrests in the back, super comfy rear seats, lovely cosy looking upholstery. Yeah, I do like that a lot. Right, let's carry on round here, see what other gems we can spot. We probably won't be able to feature everything, but we'll certainly do our best. Here's the cockpit of the Rolls Royce we passed just a few moments ago. A Wolseley Hornet there. Quite distinctive cars, these Wolseley Hornet Sports. Lots and lots of louvers set into the side panels down there, as well as the louvers on the bonnet sides. This is a little Trojan. This is sort of early 1920s at a guess. These were very, very basic motor cars. Cheap motoring for the masses was the idea behind these little Trojans. There's a Renault alongside it. It's got the very distinctive coal scuttle front end on the Renault. Might be an NN. So the radiator is here. So I trust Renault to be different. So the engine's over there, and the radiator is behind it, and those are the intakes for the radiator there. There's the filler cap on there, and that's a scuttle mounted fuel tank. Yeah, really funny looking little car there. So we've got a bit of a special here based on the old flathead V8. So this is a relative of the engine that we've got in our Ford V8 Pilot. This is a later Mercury unit. You can see Mercury stamped in the cast into the heads there. But the big giveaway is the position of the distributor on the V8 Pilot and the pre-war flathead, the side valve V8. The distributor is tucked away down there. And if you saw some of the videos I did on the V8 Pilot, you'll know that I had to replace the Dizzy. And it is a bit fiddly because it's down there. But these later Mercury engines, the drive to the distributor was put through 90 degrees and it came up here. And the distributor cap and all the gubbins and the ignition are up here, nice and easy to get at. So that's quite an improvement over the earlier flathead Ford V8s. But otherwise, this is all pretty familiar territory for us. Yeah. What a great little car. That is the kind of thing that they race on Pendine Sands. We've got a Singer here, got a Singer Le Mans. Very similar to the Singer 9 Sports. The Le Mans have the extra little humps on the top of the scuttle here. This was so named thanks to Singer's successes at Le Mans back in the 1930s. There you go, it's even got a badge for Le Mans. on the dashboard there. These are great little cars, these are. Very similar looking to the sort of contemporary MGs, although the Singers have the twin spare wheels on the back, which is just a bit of a thing that identifies Singers from MGs. Talking MGs, we've got one here. This is that PA. Very, very nice too. Right, where were we? Let's just continue our relaxing amble around the orchard area. And a Vauxhall here. More often than not, the flutes on the bonnet here, they're usually chromed or nickel plated. In this case, they are body colour. Magnificent CAV lamps on the front as well. The Austin 7 Chummy, motoring for the masses, introduced in 1922. Look at this. Alvis Speed 20 Vandenplast Tourer, 1935. A very low slung Austin 7 here, looks like another Ulster or Ulsteroid. So I've got a Morgan sneaking in here, it's quite a late one. Wow. Dining in style over here next to this Vauxhall. Got a post-vintage Derby era Bentley. At the time, yeah, for 1936. There's the disc in the window. But yeah, at this period in time, 1930s, Bentley were based in Derby. And they didn't produce their own coachwork. You'd buy a chassis off them and then you would pick your chosen coach builder of choice to actually clothe it in whatever body you wanted, whether you wanted the saloon, the Tourer, drop-head coupe, that kind of thing. A Volvo P1800 ES. So there's a few later classic cars here as well, and a Triumph. This is a Triumph Vitesse convertible. I wasn't expecting that, but we'll stick mainly to the vintage cars. This magnificent Rolls. There's a Phantom. And wow, I've got to have a look at this. I saw this driving in before. What are we looking at here? It's a spectacular example of the oily rag approach to preservation as opposed to over restoration. Let me know in the comments what you think. This is a Hotchkiss, the French Hotchkiss. Originally the company, I think they used to make cannons, hence their particular logo. Marshall lamps, the French Marshall lamps. And what an incredibly original looking car that is. Isn't that just a real time warp job? You know, you can just look at that paint and you know that that has been on there pretty much since the beginning of time. It's got the old pop-up semaphore indicators, got some German pop-up trafficators on the windscreen pillars there. Looks like it's got a bit of a leaking core plug. Yeah, amazing car. So I'm guessing this is some form of, that's the fuel supply, I guess. Yep. Yep. So the fuel gets drawn up into this tank and then via gravity it goes down and keeps that Solex carburetor topped up. Isn't that amazing? I wonder if this is like a later change or later addition perhaps. Maybe to give it a bit of boot space. Right. Isn't that just incredible? It's definitely a treat to see that Hotchkiss here today. Right, let's carry on along this row. We've got a magnificent Lagonda here. Beautiful lamps on it, Lucas lamps. Got a kit car there. Got a Jaguar XK150 drop-head coupe. Alvis over here, probably another 1250 at a guess. A similar car alongside this one, a two-seater drop-head coupe with a folding roof, just a bench seat in the front. Whereas this one has seating in the rear. Bit of extra carrying capacity with this one. Again, buy a chassis, then decide which body you want putting on it. Yeah, lovely. Aston Martin DB24 over here. Well, according to the badge on the radiator, this is a DFP, which rings a bell, but I don't know anything about it. But fortunately, there's a bit of information here. DFP, Dorio Flandrin, A. Perron, car maker 1906 to 1926. There's a bit of the information there. If you want to have a read, just pause the video now. Right, let's try out the next row. Got a lovely Frazer Nash with lovely red line.
One I haven't got.
Have you not got one of these yet? The red line can.
That's exactly what I'd want it, actually, black with the gold script.
Yeah, just as it left the factory. Yeah.
There's a lot of just as it left the factory.
Yeah, there's a lot of oily rag here, isn't there? Oh, definitely. Let's carry down here past another highly desirable Vauxhall Sunbeam AC. That's nice, isn't it? A little AC6. I love the shape of the radiator on that. Riley, Kestrel Sprite. Smaller Riley alongside that. What do we have over here? Is it Salmson, is it?
It's like a late 30s one. Strange sort of hand turning one, isn't it? It's got a massive sort of like cone around it.
Yeah, that's different, isn't it? Lost in 7 box saloon. Another glorious Vauxhall. So many wonderful early Vauxhalls here today.
Yeah.
If you have any appreciation for old engineering, then this is definitely the place to be. Got a Ford Model A coupe there alongside the V8 Pilot. Wowzers. That'll be what, about 1950 or thereabouts. Is it 50, is it? Got a Model A 2-door saloon. It's lost in 7 driving over there. Riley Kestrel here from 1934. A very much post-war fiberglass bodied Daimler SP 250. The Bristol 403, the wind cheating Bristol 403. Incredible car. Really streamlined styling on these. Lovely looking car that is. Another Alvis 1250 and an Austin 7 Chummy on the end here. My youthful assistant advises this is one of his favourites of the day, this glorious Austin 12. And it's hard to argue with that. Incredibly original looking coachwork. If you repainted that, you would just lose so much. And it doesn't need repainting, does it? Just wipe it over with whatever your oil of choice is. It's not going to get any worse, is it? Yeah, lovely, lovely car, late 20s. Got a Triumph Stag here. Got an Amel car over here. So what is this?
I thought it was 1172, but it's bigger, isn't it?
Those are Model A wheels.
Oh yeah, Model A engine.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks Model A.
Model Y grille.
Well, maybe. Yeah, it could be.
Same.
Looks like a bit of a giggle.
As the Pilot.
Yes. Looks like a bit of a giggle. Let's carry on here. Riley. MG, M-Type. Little M-Type midget. Post-war Magnet.
Nice big ribbons.
Bentley 3 litre. Is that an incredible Dodge that's been brought over from South Africa at some point? There it is. Happy memories of owning one of those. Wooden spoked wheels. Yeah, incredible. And there's a little standard. A very distinctive shape of the radiator header tank on these 1920s standards.
The V4?
Could be the V4 model. It's not a V4 engine.
Yeah.
But it could be the V4 or the SL04 possibly. Another very rakish Vauxhall there, isn't that nice? Lovely, isn't it? Just spoilt for choice really, aren't we? Bentley there. A Lagonda, a 2 litre Lagonda. MG. 3 litre Bentley. It's fine dining. The Hillman Aero Minx. So you could get open and closed versions of these. Very stylish little cars, lovely curved radiator grills on these as well. Got the Schneider Cup, the Supermarine S5, I think that was, wasn't it? The Yeah, what a fantastic mascot that is. Riley 12.4 Special over here. Lagonda, we just walk our way around here with a magnificent Lagonda. And a Humber, 1920s Humber. That radiator looks very similar to the one that's propped up in the corner of the garage at home actually.
20/25.
I'm not sure about that one. Alvis. And on the end here, looks remarkably. What's that? Yeah, it's a Bristol. Yeah, lovely, isn't it? Bristol 2 litre. Yeah. Okay, along here we've got a Cobra on the end here. Riley, and a very interesting little special here. I'm not entirely sure what we're looking at here. It's got an Austin, in fact it's got an Austin A40 badge, A40 Farina badge, and a cut down A40 grille. Little aluminium body, it's like a little home built special. Very nice cast aluminium wheels on it. Those are really, really neat.
It has no
Three stud wheel fixings, which is a bit unusual.
Which makes me think it's still in the making, sort of.
Yeah, not much in the way of instrumentation. You've got an oil pressure. That's your lot. Yeah. What a neat little body that is. Yeah. Yeah, like a half-size bird cage. Right, let's carry on down here. See what other little tempting gems we can spot. This car will be for sale at the end of summer to finance my Delage project. So that's a Lagonda. Is that another 2 litre? Possibly. Well, I did wonder if it was a Rapier, but it says Lagonda. It says Rapier down there, because Rapier was like a smaller, slightly smaller Lagonda. It says Lagonda on the radiator, so we'll go with that. Another GN here. Fantastic. As simple as you like. Just super basic, super simple. 100 plus years old now. Derby Bentley.
This is probably my favourite car, the event.
This is incredible, isn't it? This sort of streamlined little MG. What's the story with that? Yeah. What an incredible body on that. A little. It's not just amazing. Reminds me a little bit of the Hillman Aero Minx, but it isn't, obviously. This is MG. But yeah, definitely incredible looking little car. Let's just having a look at that. Like how the trafficators are set into here. Nice. Neatly incorporated in there, no extra little boxes screwed to the side to spoil the lines of the bodywork. Well, it's a very, very swish little car. One of Alvis's finest there, the 1250, and a similar car alongside that, the Silver Eagle in that case. 1250 here. I've got a feeling this one could be a local one to us. Super little MG here. The Donnet, the French Donnet. Lovely nickel plating, much in evidence on this one. So it looks from a distance, you might think it's chrome, but it's actually nickel. It's just slightly yellowier tinge to it compared to chrome plating. Yeah. Super little car that is. Carry on down here. MG Morgan, and this is a very, very early Morgan, probably mid-teens I would have thought. Incredible little Morgan, this one.
I must admit that I've got a pile of bricks from the original factory and some of the wooden panelling lining the place. I've also got the lino off Harry Morgan's floor in the Pickford Road office.
This is an MG M-Type over here, and these were based on the contemporary Morris Minor of the late 1920s, beginning of the 1930s. Yeah, so this was like the sported up version, the MG version of the little Morris Minor that we had until just a year or so ago. The little green 2-seater. Yeah, lovely little car. Next to that we've got a Citroën Traction, the Traction Avant. a left-hand drive, so it's a French-built car. On the end, a Riley Sprite. Well, we've made it to the front of the orchard area here at VSCC Prescott. Today is Saturday. It's a 2-day event, this one. There'll be more going on tomorrow, but we're only here today. We're making the most of it. But this glorious Talbot here, magnificent Tourer. Absolutely stunning cars here today. Another Talbot there next to that. Absolutely wonderful. And look at this, another early Talbot.
License bar, band, yeah, all that, yeah.
Quite a gathering of Talbot's 90th anniversary, apparently. 1934 to 2024. This is that 90th anniversary, presumably, of the Owners Club, not of Talbot. Yeah, look at this glorious two-door here. AW75 Special from 1934. These information boards are very, very useful indeed. We like that. This is 1930 Talbot AO75 Dirac 6 Light. Well, it says 6 Light Saloon. Well, that's no saloon. Alright, let's carry on anyway. So what we can see. So, 1935 James Young Sports Saloon. Oh, that is handsome. I do like that. VDP Van der Plas Ulster Saloon. Look at that one over the back there as well. Wow. The VDP Coupe des Alpes Tourer of 1932. These are beautiful cars. I do like these. 1927 Talbot 1445 Tourer. Also, it's AV105 James Young Saloon from 1933. Some of these are really, really sleek. Talbot 105 Speed Sports Saloon of 1936. And then here, several of the racing versions of the 105, I believe. Yep, 105. Oh, this is for sale. So what do we have over here? Talbot 12 horsepower of 1909. And here are all those post-war HRGs. What a lineup.
There's a whole lot of tube beds and no order. Made for my limited education. By the Evans family from Bellevue Garage. You could rent this car pre-bought for a weekend at Brooklyn's 25 quid. So if somebody spun it in
Bit of a code brown moment for the 1.5 litre ERA there. Thankfully, managed to miss every single wall and tree.
are the wheels pointing in the right direction? I think they are. Amateur tool, that's really good news. So Tom has been finding the limits. When you've got a rotor bearing, the crank comes to pieces about 8 parts.
Well folks, there is a red flag out. There's a bit of oil down at the top of the course and all but just a handful of the cars have gone through. So I think we'll probably start to wrap this one up. It's been a fantastic day here at VSCC Prescott, August 2024. The cars will be back in action again tomorrow, but we won't be. We will be elsewhere recording a video for another day. So thank you so much for watching this one. I'll include links at the end of this video to previous VSCC meetings we've been to here at Prescott. maybe also Lowton Park. There are always fantastic cars in action in any of these meetings that we get to. So thank you very much for watching. Please like, leave a comment, maybe subscribe if you haven't already and you like this kind of thing. And there'll be so many more videos along very, very soon. So bye for now.